Welcome back to the Crypto World channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and in this video, I'll be covering the Bitcoin dominance crashing to the downside. This is actually great news for the altcoin market. As you can see, all of these altcoins are booming. And as always in this video, I will be covering Ethereum alongside some special indicators just here that could tell us the next trend for Ethereum. I'll also be updating you guys on the hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Ethereum that has just been deleted from the Ethereum network. And on top of all of that, I'll be quickly mentioning Solana towards the end of this video because of this extremely explosive breakout over the past couple of weeks. All of that and more in this video, so make sure you're watching this entire video all the way to the end so that you're not missing out on any of that important information. And if that sounds good to you, just before you jump into it, make sure to leave a like on the video down below. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on for more videos like this one. I post these update videos every single day here on the channel, and it only takes a couple seconds out of your day to click like and subscribe. So if you could do that, that honestly means a lot to me and it helps out the channel so much. But anyway, with that out of the way, let's get straight into what this video is about. So right here, we're on the Ethereum to US dollar chart on the 4-hour time frame. And as you can see here, Ethereum has still spent another day within this parallel channel. As you can see, once again, the support is currently coming in at around 3,150 and the resistance is coming in at roughly around 3,420. And I've mentioned this parallel channel for my last couple Ethereum updates, so I'm not going to go deep into the details of my price targets and all of that to do with this pattern in particular. So for the new viewers on the channel, definitely check out a couple of my last Ethereum updates where I did actually talk about this same pattern for Ethereum. But yeah, basically just a quick recap for the new viewers. While the price is still within this range here, obviously we are looking pretty neutral. It's only when we either break the support or the resistance, that's when we're going to see another volatile move for Ethereum and potentially a new trend for Ethereum. So of course, if we're breaking support, that means we could be potentially entering into just a short-term downtrend, or at the very least, just a short-term cool-off. And then of course, if we're breaking resistance, that would mean Ethereum is continuing the trend to the upside in another explosive move, most likely. Now, keep in mind that over the last 10 days, when Ethereum has been in this upward sloping parallel channel, even though the price has been slightly trending to the upside, the RSI has actually been trending to the downside on this 4-hour chart once again. And also looking at these moving averages in the MACD, these are all trending to the downside while the price is in this slight little uptrend. So what is that? That is a divergence, and more specifically, it is a bearish divergence. Now, a bearish divergence is when we actually see a high and a higher high in the price, and then a high and a lower high in an oscillator such as the RSI or the MACD just here. Now, you can look at the low and the higher low here, and then the low and the lower low in the RSI as a hidden bullish divergence. But considering the fact that we are using just regular normal bearish divergences, looking at the highs in the price just here, comparing to the hidden bullish divergences in the lows, the regular divergences are actually stronger than the hidden divergences. So that is why, just generally speaking, this overall is looking, slightly more bearish, generally speaking. Of course, it's not impossible for this to continue even higher and higher, but yeah, once again, looking at these indicators just here, they are telling us that we are due for, at least a bit of a cool off, because a bearish divergence basically just means that the buyers are starting to get exhausted, the bulls are getting exhausted, they're running out of steam, and we are due for at least some sideways price action, if not a slight cool off to the downside. Going back a little bit in the chart on the same 4-hour time frame, as you can see just here, the last time that we saw something very similar in the Ethereum chart, that was all the way back here. As you can see, that was basically at the end of June leading into the first week of July approximately. And during that time period just there, the Ethereum price was actually trending to the upside. We were seeing some higher highs and some higher lows in the Ethereum price during that 1 to 2 weeks just there. But while we were seeing that slight little uptrend in the Ethereum price, the RSI on the other hand was starting a slight little downtrend. As you can see, the RSI was not heading to the upside anymore. And same with the MACD. These moving averages in the MACD, they were actually trending to the downside, even though the price was actually still heading to the upside. And then it was the moment that we actually got that last bearish divergence. As you can see, we got a high and a higher high in the price, and then a high and a lower high in the RSI. At that moment, as we were also running into this resistance just here, that sent the price into a new little downtrend just in the short term, which actually turned out to be a great buying opportunity. So that's simply my strategy moving forward at the moment. Once again, I'm simply just preparing for a buying opportunity. Now, it's worth mentioning that I have not sold any of my long-term Ethereum holdings. My long-term Ethereum holdings, I'm not touching until we at least break the all-time high. But short-term trades, such as a short-term long position, taking profits in around this area just here, would be not a bad idea. Once again, this is just my strategy, what I'm doing, and I'm also putting aside some stable coins. So if we do see a slight little pullback, I can put in those stable coins at these cheaper Ethereum prices to add to my long-term position. So what I mean by cheaper prices is, well, first of all, this red range just here has previously provided us a lot of support on the Ethereum chart, as you can see just here and just here as well. So this red price range just here starts from around 2,800 up towards around 3,000 in that $200 price range just there. Once again, that has already been confirmed twice as support. And the reason why that range is also significant is if I go back further on the Ethereum chart just here, after that initial crash in around the middle of May, we were actually finding multiple points where we got a huge rejection along this exact red range. This was previous huge resistance. And of course, when we break above resistance and retest it as support, then obviously that confirms it as support. The more significant the resistance was equals the more significant the support is. So once again, that would be an area where I will actually accumulate a little bit of Ethereum if we do go down there. Once again, we don't have to go down there, but I will take that opportunity if we do. And anything lower than about 2.8k, our next major level of support is coming in at around $2,500 US, which will be another area where I will accumulate a little bit more Ethereum for myself. So once again, we're seeing these other indicators trend to the downside in the short term on the 4-hour time frame, but zooming out to the daily time frame, what are we seeing in these indicators on the bigger picture on the daily time frame? Well, first of all, the RSI, as you can see, this is actually still forming a downtrend on the daily time frame for Ethereum after we were previously in overbought territory. So we were due for a bit of a short-term call-off. And then also in the MACD, taking a look at not just the momentum, but the moving averages just here. First of all, mentioning the momentum, as you can see, this is starting to trend to the downside. We are not in the red just yet, and it isn't a major momentum shift. Like, this isn't a violent rejection to the downside or anything like that. So I don't expect a major crash, just a short-term cool-off. But yeah, at this rate just here, within the next 1 to 2 days, it is likely that the momentum for Ethereum will shift into the red zone on the MACD indicator on the daily time frame once again. But yeah, paying attention to the moving averages on this MACD. Right now, we are actually getting really close to a death cross in the MACD moving averages. Now, once again, this doesn't guarantee us a correction. This doesn't guarantee us a crash or anything like that. But taking a look at some previous death crosses on the Ethereum chart, we had one right here as the momentum shifted slightly into the red. We got a small little death cross there. And taking a look at the price during that time period just there, as you can see, we were actually coming off the back of a nice little uptrend in the short term. We were starting to cool off here, and then we got that death cross right here. And then basically, as soon as we actually saw that in the MACD just there, once again, the Ethereum price headed to the downside over the next 1 week approximately, which once again, it turned out to be a great buying opportunity. And by the way, that was the same area on the chart that I was just talking about on the 4-hour time frame, talking about those bearish divergences. But yeah, going back a little bit further, the last major death cross that Ethereum saw before that area just there was actually pretty much at the all-time high itself. Just after Ethereum reached its all-time high and we were starting to find a bit of resistance in around that area just there, the RSI on the daily time frame was entering overbought territory, just like what we've seen recently. And also we were seeing this death cross in the MACD while the momentum was shifting to the downside. All of that was happening just a few days before we actually saw a massive crash in the Ethereum price. This was definitely one of the more severe outcomes, one of the more violent outcomes of a death cross. But yeah, apart from that one towards the all-time high, another major one before then was all the way back in around the end of February this year. The daily RSI reached these slightly overbought areas, but not super overheated. But yeah, at that same time period just there, as you can see, the momentum in the MACD was shifting to the downside. We were seeing a small little death cross on the chart just there. And pretty much as soon as we actually saw that, over the next 1 week, we actually saw the Ethereum price head to the downside, which turned out to be a nice little buying opportunity if you're holding for the longer term. So once again, nothing is guaranteed, and don't necessarily rely on just one indicator, but we do have a few different signs on the chart showing that a short-term cool-off is one of the more likely scenarios from where we are right now. And that is why my strategy at the moment is simply just to prepare for a buying opportunity that could be coming within the next 1 to 2 weeks. And right here, over the past 1 week, the Bitcoin dominance has been crashing to the downside. But just before we jump into that, you should take a look at this, because right now I'm actually earning passive income every single day just by holding some of my Ethereum over here on BlockFi. This is Ethereum that I was going to be holding anyway on a different exchange, so I thought I might as well chuck it on BlockFi to get this extra interest on top of the Ethereum that I'm already holding anyway. And as you can see here, just by holding some some of my crypto on BlockFi, this has actually paid me well over 1,300 US dollars from pretty much doing absolutely nothing. Like, that is free money just from depositing some of my crypto on here and letting it sit there. And obviously I would not be sharing this if I didn't actually use it myself as a part of my Ethereum strategy. But yeah, if you want to check it out for yourself, I do have a link to BlockFi down below. It'll be the first link in the description. And by the way, if you do use that link, not only can it help support the channel, you can also get up to a $250 bonus in Bitcoin when you're using the link down below and making your first deposit into the account within the first 30 days of you opening the account if you want to claim that extra free Bitcoin bonus. But once again, you will see all of that information on the first link in the description. But yeah, getting back to the Bitcoin dominance chart just here, this is on the 4-hour time frame. And for the new viewers on the channel, you might be wondering what the Bitcoin dominance has to do with Ethereum and altcoins. Well, first of all, the Bitcoin dominance is basically just Bitcoin's market share over the entire crypto market. So for example, right now it's at roughly around 44%. So out of all of the money in the crypto market, about 44% of it is sitting in Bitcoin. And then the rest of it is obviously sitting in altcoins. So if the Bitcoin dominance is going to the downside, obviously that means Bitcoin's market share is going to the downside. And that means the altcoins are going to do well. But then when the Bitcoin dominance is heading to the upside, that means obviously Bitcoin is stealing dominance, stealing market share away from the altcoins. So when this chart heads to the upside, that is bad for the altcoins. And if you've been subscribed to this channel over the past couple of weeks, I've actually covered this chart on the channel a few times over the last couple of weeks. Once again, I covered it as soon as we started breaking this important level just here, which by the way, during this time and this time just here, I was converting some of my Bitcoin into Ethereum because I was predicting that it's very likely that this dominance is going to head further to the downside. Ethereum is likely to be outperforming Bitcoin in the short term as the dominance drops to the downside. Once again, I was making those predictions around 2 weeks ago just here. And the fact that not only did we break below these important levels just here, we actually came back up and got 2 perfect rejections along this previous level of support, now turned into resistance. So those 2 points of rejections just there, they were our retests to confirm the break to the downside. So once again, if you've been watching the channel for the past couple of weeks, this was actually expected, this downwards movement in the dominance, especially this altcoin just here. This has actually experienced a huge breakout to the upside, as you can see. But just before we get into that, I'll quickly update you guys on the total amount of Ethereum that has been burned after we saw that EIP 1559 upgrade to the Ethereum network a couple weeks ago now. And yeah, quickly refreshing it, as you can see, over 56,000 Ethereum has been permanently destroyed, which equates to over 180 million US dollars worth of Ethereum that has been permanently deleted. And for the brand new viewers on this channel that don't know what this actually means, I have a video on my channel going into more detail exactly what this means, but I'll quickly explain it now. Basically, with this upgrade roughly around 2 weeks ago now, give or take, this EIP 1559 upgrade was an Ethereum improvement proposal that was a part of the London hard fork upgrade to the Ethereum network. And this is actually a step forward towards proof of stake, towards Ethereum 2.0. And what this specific EIP upgrade actually is, it basically takes a big portion of the Ethereum mining fees, which is of course the fee that you pay if you're sending Ethereum from one wallet to another, or if you're sending an ERC20 token, something like that, or even if you're swapping between 2 altcoins on a decentralized exchange via the Ethereum network, such as Uniswap or SushiSwap. Once again, if you're doing all of that sort of stuff, you are paying fees in Ethereum. And before this upgrade, of course, the fees would go to the Ethereum miners. The people mining Ethereum would get those miner fees. But after this upgrade was implemented, the majority of those fees get sent into the Ethereum network itself and get permanently burned. They get destroyed. And so in terms of the miner revenue, you can actually tip the miners some extra fees if you want to have your transaction as a high priority transaction. So if you want to speed up your transaction, once again, you can pay extra fees and the miners can still get those extra fees. And on top of that, the miners still get the block reward per Ethereum block. But overall, generally speaking, after this EIP upgrade, the miner revenue has decreased, which has resulted in a decrease in selling pressure for Ethereum. And on top of that, of course, all of this Ethereum, we are not getting that back. That is permanently destroyed. So that is actually taking away from the circulating supply of Ethereum, making Ethereum rarer and rarer as time goes on. Now, right now, considering the block reward with Ethereum, there's still more Ethereum getting created than the Ethereum getting destroyed. So Ethereum overall is still inflationary, but it is at a much lower inflation rate compared to just a few weeks ago before we saw this upgrade. So pretty much all you need to know about this upgrade for the beginners out there is the fact that it's a very bullish thing in the long term for Ethereum. It is putting a restriction on the Ethereum supply and it is reducing selling pressure. All right, now quickly covering Solana in this video. This was one of my main suggestions recently on the channel, considering the huge explosive move that it has had. This is Solana versus the US dollar on the 1-day time frame. And I'll just quickly be covering the technicals in this video. I won't be going into a deep dive of Solana's fundamentals. It is actually an interesting project with its hybrid protocol going between proof of stake and proof of history, that sort of thing. But yeah, if you want to check it out, definitely do your own research before investing any sort of money. Even though I only really cover altcoins and projects that I actually own myself that I'm investing in, it's still really important to do your own research, especially when it comes to altcoins. But yeah, getting into the chart, this is just going to be a quick analysis. First of all, from the point of the break just there to where we are right now, Solana has actually pumped well over 130% to the upside in about 3 weeks. And from the bottom to the top, Solana has actually pumped around 240% in just 4 weeks. So obviously that has been one of the top performers in the altcoin space recently over the past few weeks. So right now it's definitely entering into the euphoric stage. There's a lot of hype being generated around Solana right now, and that is actually a bit of a red flag in the immediate short term. You should not be FOMOing into something that has just gone vertical. Believe me, I've learned the hard way. I've had years of experience in crypto, and anytime you FOMO into a vertical chart like this, it almost always ends badly. I'm not saying that Solana is going to have a huge crash or anything, but the risk to reward from where we are right now, it's honestly not really worth entering at these prices. It would be a lot safer to wait for some sort of cool off for Solana. Now, once again, that doesn't have to happen, but even if that does happen, worst case scenario, you're going to be missing out on this one altcoin, and there's thousands of altcoins out there. There's tens of thousands of altcoins out there. So there's always going to be opportunities out there. But yeah, once again, the risk to reward right now on Solana, just in the short term, when you're looking in the short term, the risk of a decent move to the downside is high compared to another decent move to the upside. Of course, if you're investing for the long term, then still this could be, a decent entry point if you're looking for, years from now. But once again, that is where your research comes into play. You need to be researching the fundamentals of an altcoin if you're investing into it for the long term. The price of Solana has definitely shot way past the actual price target just here, as you can see. But keep in mind that here on the daily time frame, we are at extremely overbought areas in the RSI for Solana on the daily time frame. Once again, on the 4-hourly time frame, we have been in extremely overbought areas, but right now we actually are seeing a major bearish divergence in the Solana price. So once again, that is a high and a higher high in the price, and then a high and a lower high in the RSI. And what that basically means is, once again, we're due for a little bit of a cool off here sometime soon. Of course, it's totally possible that we continue to explode to the upside, but the potential reward to the upside right now is not that high, considering the fact that we've already had a major move to the upside. And same with the Solana versus the Bitcoin chart just here. Once again, we saw pretty much a perfect breakout. We were seeing perfect points of resistance along this entire line just here, and the absolute moment that we actually saw a break above this level, the Solana price against Bitcoin basically went extremely vertical. The moment we broke above this resistance, we are getting extremely overheated here, and the risk to reward with entering in right now, once again, is definitely more risky for the potential reward. My strategy right now with Solana is I'm actually taking some profits just here. Switching back to the Solana versus the US dollar chart just here, my strategy right now is actually to take a little bit of profits right now in the short term. I'm not going to be selling all of my Solana, but once again, taking some profits after a very bullish move like this is not a dumb thing to do. It's always smart to take a little bit of profits off the table. And by the way, if you want to get these extra Ethereum updates and just updates on crypto in general, definitely check out my Twitter. The link to my Twitter is in the description down below if you want to stay up to date in these markets at all times. But anyway, that's just about everything I have to say for this video. I better stop it here before it gets too long. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to drop a like down below. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on so that you're not missing out on any of these future videos. Once again, I post these update videos every single day here on the channel. I always post Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I usually include one of your top suggested altcoins that you guys are commenting in the comment section down below. I also have seen a lot of your suggestions to bring back Cardano and Chainlink to the channel, so I'll try and get those back on the channel sometime soon. But once again, if you have any other suggestions, just let me know in the comment section down below. But anyway, that's really everything I have to say for this video. Once again, I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.